how are we gonna start this?
It's a good way to start.
Okay, finally, you finally got them D Division. Hello, my name's Keith Sheldon, and with me today is Thunderbug.
I
Yeah, and today we're doing the D Division Power Rankings for y'all. You finally broken us. Congratulations. um, we'll just sort of go through the teams, 17 to 18, and before we start, this is entirely based on what we think of the drafts. We're not sort of taking into account player skill, player history, anything like that. You know, whether you like pineapple on pizza or not, doesn't matter. It's all entirely about your draft. Yeah. Actually,
although they do,
yeah.
just like if they do like pineapple on pizza though, they do fall down by default 5 spots.
I agree. You're last, basically. But talking about last, we starting with 18, the Miami Miltrace, by Boldnock, I think. I think this is the person. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
how do we start with this? Well, you know, this is the pineapple and pizza team, I guess. So positives wise, I think Webbs is pretty good for this team. There's 2 really good rock Pokemon. And then, you know, Mandibuzz is great hazard and reel, so it's got decent hazard control, I guess. But, how do I put... I don't... So this is going to be a common problem, but speed tiers are a really important thing in Pokemon drafting. Because, you know, if a fast Pokemon it just has uncontested speed, it can just run as much bulk as possible. So you usually want about 15 point gaps. That's about the max you want. I guess in, you know, really high speeds it doesn't matter because there's not that many Pokemon up there. But like, you know, a gap between Mega Aerodactyl and Kartana really opens up possibilities for your fast Pokemon like, you know, Zeraora, Tapu Koko, regular Aerodactyl, all of that stuff to just run a ton of bulk, to run modest nature, all of that stuff. And that's, I think, you know, that's a really, really, really big issue with this team. There's a big gap from 50 to 109, and then even below that from 90 until, there's basically a speed gap even below that from 90 till 60 because Mandibuzz isn't a Pokemon that actually wants to run much speed. So there's going to be a lot of teams that can really take advantage of the, you know, the speed gaps present in this draft. Yeah. Is what I'm saying making sense?
yeah, I would say though that I don't think we mentioned it, but he does have realistic Trick Room opportunities with Stakataka, and I think Dusknoir gets Trick Room as well.
Yes.
And he has some decent abusers with Stax, of course, being itself, potentially Araquanid and Machamp.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got options to do things with this team.
Meloetta
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but while you're on the top, Meloetta also sets Trick Room. That's
Does, okay, I wasn't sure if I got it or not. But yeah, so it's got that. I guess you can kind of say if we can get Pirouette Form ever off, that kind of helps cover his speed tiers a little bit. I don't remember what the Pirouette Form speed tier is, but I know it's like 100 something. That's
128. I use Meloetta.
28. Oh yeah, it's kind of in the middle there. Yeah.
Yeah, Meloetta's
He's got good Mons. He's got some good speed tiers.
Yeah.
His removal basically is Mandibuzz and nothing else because Kartana does not count and Mega Arrow does not count. And really his rocker is Swampert because Mega Arrow kind of doesn't count. Stakataka can count, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Also another issue is like webs are good, but you want spin for webs to keep them up long term, because you know then people can just hazard stack against you, and this isn't the best team against hazards, so that's a bit of an issue.
So webs are nerfed kind of right now because of heavy-duty boots. It makes it really easy just to slap on boots, and you don't care about rocks anymore, and you really don't care about webs, and then you just outrun everything and kill it anyways.
That is true. But, but actually, you do have a big good point there. Also, the team is kind of weak to water and fighting, I'm fairly sure. I mean, what's the water switch in?
Oh, it is weak to water.
Yeah.
Its water resist are Kartana, which is not a water resist. because of its, what is it, 31 special defense? Yeah, 31. And then Araquanid, which is a good water resist,
Well, it can
but
be
then you're
immune
wasting
to
your
it.
time with Araquanid being a water resist.
Yeah, it can be
Still
immune.
resist water. It
Yeah.
still resists because it's a water type with water bubble, and it can't be burned, which is nice. If the Araquanid is your water resist, it ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, it does have water
it's not
absorb as
doing
well.
anything either. Yeah.
But like, Scald goes in on this team because there's
Yeah.
like a lot of these Pokemon don't want to get burnt either. Like, like Swampert doesn't. Aerodactyl doesn't. Mandibuzz definitely doesn't because it'll put it in. Any chip on Mandibuzz is very awkward.
Just use Avian Machamp with Guts. That's your water resist.
Yeah, I guess. Also, electric moves also kind of go in because again, the only resists are once again Kartana, and then it's Swampert. So,
Swampert not the worst. I mean, it's
It's not
bad
the
against
worst.
certain electric types. Access to grass moves like Zero Auras and things.
Yeah.
Against most electric types that don't have anything to touch it, it still is fine.
I will say a lot of electric types are bad in this generation.
Which most of them are, except for
Yeah.
5, I'd say.
Yeah,
Really.
and the team has one out and out special attacker, and that's Meloetta.
What's that? Yeah, I forgot about that. That's actually a thing too.
Yeah, and
Kiscon's cool though. That'll be fun.
Yeah, like it, also very very bad dragon switch-ins. It's stack attacker because once again,
I just realized, how do you not have a fairy type?
I mean, I can understand not needing a fairy type. Like, I think you need 2 dragon switch-ins, but I don't think, so, if that's 2 steals, 2 fairies, that sort of thing, I don't think, Kartana counts because it comes in on a Draco Meteor and then it dies.
Yeah.
But, I will say, Kartana can just sort of win games once teams are soften up. Mega Aerodactyl has Dragon Dance, which is very scary. It's got, it's got Meloetta, which is, 128 base special attack. That's a bit of a breaker. It definitely has stuff.
It has tools.
Yeah, it has tools.
It has stuff.
But it's got a lot
like
of...
I said earlier, back attack under Trick Room can be really scary against teams that don't prepare properly.
Yeah, but it just has a lot of glaring weaknesses to it. Yeah.
It's a team definitely that when you see it on team preview, you'll know what it wants to do.
Exactly. Anything else we have to say about the Miami Ultras?
Not really. We still love you, Boldnock. I don't know anything about you, but we're sure you'll do fine.
Yeah. Okay. Then number 17, we've got the. 1 second. Sorry.
Oh, good. You
Okay.
skipped the team, that's all.
Now we're back at number 17, the Gongzao Gigazards, which I managed to pronounce first try without asking for any help. With the coach Lucifer. And looking at this team, I think Beedrill, Xurkitree, Lando Eye, and Indeedee are all very strong wall breakers. I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
Indeedee with Expanding Force, is it called?
Yeah, that's the new stupid move.
Yeah, that is so stupid.
Then does Hat get that too? Because if Hat gets that, Hat's really stupid.
Can you check? I kind of can't leave the slide or else...
It will. Alright, Hat, do you get it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
There you go. That's really cool.
That's going to be disgusting.
Yeah. Also, it does have Magic Bounce, which this team sort of needs because its hazard removal is Garbaggio. Because its hazard removal is Mega Beedrill, Smeargle, and Landorus Eye, and you do not want to run Defog on Landorus Eye, and you kinda don't want to run it on Mega Beedrill very often. Like, I guess it's an okay, 4th move in some matchups, but I don't know. Yeah.
That's the generous way to put it.
Yeah.
You are much nicer than I would be.
Well, be mean then. Be a bully.
Okay, yeah, the removal on this team is absolute trash.
Yeah.
That's a simple way to put it. Beedrill, yeah. I guess you can say, yeah, it could be a 4th move, and then you click Defog, and then your Beedrill dies, and you get extremely sad. That's basically what happens.
Yeah, like, you have to be really confident that your opponent's going to switch out with default Beedrill. Like, really confident.
And even then, if your opponent makes one questionable play, now all of a sudden you lost your Beedrill because you decided you had to run defog B to get rid of those spikes.
Yeah. Also, the most of the hazard options is just Smeagol, and yeah, that's what Smeagol does, but I'm just not big on bringing a mon that, you know, just does four of any choice of your moves. I just don't think it is something you can bring to every game. So outside of Smeagol, the only really good rock setup is Tyranitar, because Landorus
Is the only other rocks. Oh no, Landorus. I guess Landorus does get rocks. Huh?
Landorus Eye isn't really an OT. You don't want to put rocks on it. You just want to click buttons.
I actually forgot Landorus even got rocks.
Yeah.
Or not Landorus Eye, because you just don't think Landorus Eye rocks, especially when it's Sheer Force, because Sheer Force is allowed now. Which, is going to lead to the big question that we had in this draft is, did you draft Tyranitar because you forgot you could use Sheer Force and you thought you could only use Sand Force and you drafted it solely for that?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't really know why you have Tyranitar.
I mean, it's a good
We get
Pokemon.
why. It's T-Tar is good. At the same time, it's like, you don't really know what it does other than, I guess, be a rocker that Smeargle doesn't have to click.
Yeah. Also, like, speed tier is really bad. 145 to 101. Same thing we said last one. There's, like, basically, I don't think there's any healing on this team at all. I think it's just Tangela is the only.
You got
way
Roost
to actually
Mega
regen
Beedrill.
health. Does Mega Beedrill get Roost?
Yes, it does.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's I was wrong there. And I think it also has Leech Seed, I guess, but there's very limited ways to passively get health back on Pokemon like H-Slash, which really appreciate ways to passively get health shoved into it. Yeah. This is pretty weak to water and ground. In fact, I think any, like, ground or water attacker with an ice move just sort of runs through this team, because what are the ground or water switch-ins? The answer is one. The answer is one ground switch-in, I think. There are two ground switch-ins and two water switch-ins. Poliwrath and Tangela are the water switch-ins. Landorus Eye and Tangela are the ground switch-ins. So, like, you know, just put an ice beam, like Mamoswine or something. That just destroys this team, doesn't it? Like,
Paper it does, but this is one of those things where it's like one of those things where Mamoswine's one of those mons that, okay, this is the match that's supposed to be good, so it's terrible, and the terrible match is good. You know what I mean?
I guess, but it's very hard to, on paper, defend against, you know, just a strong ice and ground
Type of an
attack.
ice move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially.
So yeah, in general,
Oh, yeah.
in general, this team is going to be more of a, I'm going to try to kill you before you kill me type team.
Yeah.
Which I can't do because Landorus is that good and Aegislash needs no introduction really.
I actually hate Aegislash. I actually
don't hate
really
it. Like it. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's a good mon and it's fun to use. Although I do think it really likes, like you said earlier, something that can throw a wish to it.
Yeah, I used it last season. I hated it. It definitely does put in work though. Like Specs, like it's one of those Pokemon where it's sort of like you can probably bring it to every matchup. Like you can just, you know, Toxic Stall with King Shield, or you can, you can just throw a Specs on it. You can Weakness Polarity, Automatize. So I think, you know.
It's extremely good. It can just be kind of awkward to use it sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
There are times where you're like, you know, I really want to attack this thing, but I also really don't want 50 defense.
Yep.
And it's whatever it is now.
Yeah. This team's also a bit weak to knock, just specifically because nothing really wants to lose the item, and, you know, your Mega is Mega Beedrill, but oh well. It is what it is. Like, Tyranitar and Poliwrath are fine against switching into knockoffs if you don't care about their item too much. But, yeah. I don't know, do you have anything else to say?
I mean, not much. Again, like I said kind of earlier, it's definitely going to be a team where you want to kill everyone in the first 25 turns, otherwise you'll be very sad.
Yes. Okay, number 16. The Fuyuki Knights. with Saber. Yeah, so Morwell with a Trick Room Setter and Teleport it always just slaps, like it just does. Like that's just how it works. Gothitelle can trap some really annoying Pokemon that Morwell can't break, which allows Morwell to win games. It's just very annoying to build against, Gothitelle in general, and I think this team in general. Well, sort of. Milotic and Gliscor, I think, are a very good defensive duo, and other ones like Porygon 2 does make this team sort of annoying to break with a fair amount of hazard control. But, yeah, any more positives about this team? Because they do exist.
Yeah, they do exist. Nader can't get crit by your Shifu.
That's pretty cool. Negatives wise though, this is a team that does full Trick Room offense, and I don't think that's something you can have as your crutch, if you know what I mean. Like I don't think you can. It kind of has to have Trick Room with Mega Mawile to win, because its fastest Pokemon is superior at 1-1-3, which I like, but it's definitely not like an offensive force. It's a weird utility mon, since it's all of its coverage
Lost
doesn't
10
exist.
power. Yeah, it lost 10 power and all that jazz.
Yeah, so do you want to know its coverage moves?
I believe it's Leaf Storm, Hyper Beam, and I think that might be it.
Dragon Pulse.
Oh yes, I forgot about Dragon Pulse. I forgot about
The
Dragon
powerful
Pulse.
steel-breaking Dragon Pulse. So, yeah, but, sub Leech Seed, it's very annoying still, but, like, that's not exactly a Pokemon a lot of, it's not the most threatening Pokemon to have as your fast one. So, the next fastest one after that is Gliscor, which I don't think wants to run speed in a lot of matchups. And I think Serperior is the only Pokemon that wants to consistently run speed on this entire team, actually.
Unless there's something very specific you're trying to outrun, like Gliscor sometimes does.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just in in every matchup, you don't always expect Gliscor to run speed, but you expect Superior to always run speed, and that's about it.
Yeah.
There's only 2 sources of rocks, and one of them is Mawile, so that's not exactly the best. The other is Gliscor. I think forcing Gliscor to bring rocks every game is not that amazing. I think the only really offensive Pokemon on this entire team is Mawile, and I guess certain variations of Gliscor. Outside of those two, it's got what? I guess Milotic. Can Milotic be offensive? Does Milotic get Calm Mind?
It gets Dragon Dance now.
Okay, so does it get Triple Axle?
I think it does.
Okay, that's pretty strong. That's pretty powerful.
I can confirm it does in fact get Triple Axle.
Yeah, but it's got, so it does only have one out and out powerful physical attacker, and then it's also with Trick Room. It's only really got 2 abusers, and that's Mawile and offensive Porygon 2, which is the setup. I think everything else doesn't exactly, I guess maybe a slow Gothitelle, but even then, doesn't Gothitelle have 75 speed or something?
It is 65 for Goth.
65, okay. Yeah, but I think a Pokemon that is slower than Mawile that can beat Porygon 2 is a huge issue for this team, Like a Alolan Marowak, for example. They set up Trick Room, and then Alolan Marowak comes in and just sort of destroys everything.
Really accurate.
Yeah. But
as we kind of said when we were doing this ranking, this is a team that we're going to see just how far Mega Mawile and Shadow Tag can carry someone.
Yeah. Because I understand what the goal of this team was, I just don't think it's executed as well as possible.
Mawile plus Gothitelle, A+ combo.
Yeah.
Everything around it is cool, but I don't know if it goes well with what you were trying to do. Porygon works with it.
Yeah,
Milotic and Hitmontop can do some weird triple axle shenanigans. Yeah. Ivysaur is pretty good without hidden power. Again, as you mentioned earlier, Mawile is the only Pokemon on this team that is immediately scary.
Yeah.
Everything else requires either a setup move or you just do not care about it attacking you at all.
Yeah, or like, yeah. Or if you're incredibly weak to grass, I guess Superior. But like, even then.
I don't know if it's possible that you have a draft that's incredibly weak to grass unless you're going for some like mono water stuff.
Yeah, like a weird rain team. So just like, say like really strong wall breaker Pokemon just sort of break this team, like Mega Heracross or something. That just goes in.
Until it gets Shadow Tag trapped.
But Mega Heracross does not get. Do you see what a Mega Heracross does to a Gothitelle?
Yeah, that's when you run your Scarf Gothitelle, come in after a kill and get revenge kill.
It doesn't kill it from full health though.
It doesn't you crit it.
Like that's the thing. Yeah, but I guess. But it's also only got one flying resist, and that's Mega Mawile. It's got no real. The momentum options are kind of dire. Like it's Teleport Porygon 2, which is very good, and outside of that, what?
Flip turn Milotic, U-turn Glysaur and Illumise.
Okay, that's a little better than I thought. I forgot Milotic got flip turn. I also forgot Glysaur got U-turn. That's a little better than I thought it was. Yeah.
You sweep someone with Turtonator. I just want you to sweep somebody with Body Press Turtonator.
I guess. Wait, what's Turtonator's special attack stat?
91.
I guess Specs Turtonator could abuse Trick Room. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But
I like Turtonator, but no, not for that.
Okay.
It needs to be either the Iron Defense Body Press set, or it needs to be Shell Smash to do any sort of damage.
Yeah. Okay, but anything else you want to say about Fuyuhiki Knights?
Prove us wrong. We like what you got in some of your tools, and just prove us wrong with the other tools.
Yeah, exactly. It just needs another offensive mono 2, man. Also, like, you don't need a billion... Like, you have like a billion defoggers, and I don't know why.
I think that was mostly by accident.
Yeah, but...
I don't think he drafted Superior and Illumise for Defog, or at least I certainly hope not.
Superior is a fine defogger in some matchups.
I mean, what else is it going to run? I mean, I guess it has no other moves, so might as well run Defog.
Well, Glare, Leech Seed, Defog...
All those aren't important.
Yeah. Glare's really good in it. But, okay, number 15.
Glare for your max speed Mawile.
Scary. Number 15 is the Quebec Quillfish with Coach Leaf. This is a team of like really good individual mons, I think. Dragapult's always very good. A lot of people think it's the best Pokemon in the format. Mega Altaria is very strong, and this is a sort of dragon spamming pair, which I think can do well against a lot of teams. It's got some very good hazard control options. Yeah.
Zarude actually is really fun to use. I've been playing around with it and so helping people to do some mocks. And it's actually really fun to use and is really good.
I've never actually used I just was like... I wanted it till I realized it didn't have knockoff, and then I didn't want it anymore.
It's really fun and really cool.
That's cool. Well, it's not like... It's got some scary stats, so hopefully it can put in work.
Yeah. Typing is a little shit, but everything else about it is really good. Plus, it's got that recovery move.
Jungle healing or whatever, which isn't like an aromatherapy and a recover packed into one.
So basically, it's essentially in a way you can say it's immune to Scald Burn. way.
Yeah.
Roundabout way.
Yeah. Okay, but in terms of issues, I mean, there's only 2 rockers on the team. They're both good, but it's like, I don't think you want rocks on... Like, you definitely don't want rocks on both... Like, rocks on Donphan, which probably also has to run spin every time, when a lot of matchups, does really constrict its moveset. And, Heatran rocks, it's fine, but I'm a big fan of offensive Heatran, which I don't think this team can actually ever run, because this team is destroyed by Fairy types once Heatran goes down. And this team is destroyed by Ice types once Heatran goes down, basically.
I mean, Rotom can deal with some Ice types. Unless they have Freeze Dry.
Rotom. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. But it also doesn't have any way of like recovering health though.
Yeah, outside of like Pain Split or Wish Pass, yeah, I guess.
Does Oh yeah, I guess Togetic's the Wish mod. That's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, but there's a big speed gap. It's kind of rock weak, though it does have a fair amount of removal. I think there's only one ghost resist, and that's Zarude, but again, Zarude's pretty cool. There's a bit of a steel weakness as well. Like, I just think there's a lot of sort of there's a lot of types where you're relying a lot on both Heatran and Rotom Wash to sort of switch in a bunch. And with minimal, like, with not a great Wish support mon, once they both get no reliable recovery, once they get enough chip, they just sort of fall apart, and offense just sort of runs through this team. If that makes any sense?
Yeah. Also, Togetic and Mega Altaria pretty much share every similar weakness in a lot of ways, so they're kind of don't really want to bring both.
Exactly. And
Altaria got nerfed hard this gen, nerfed hard in this format without return and stuff anyways. Now it's relying on Body Slam, which is still fine, but it's definitely a big noticeable drop in power.
You get the paralysis every time though. It's better, but yeah. I mean, two fairy resists, and they're both sort of like neither of them have recovery, and I don't think regular poison muck is very good at all. Yeah, I don't know.
Has its moments. I think the Dragapult, Rotom Wash, Volturn, and the Surfetch is gonna be really fun and really good.
Surfetch
that is gonna be his underrated strategy that people are gonna overlook, and that's how he's gonna win games. Is getting Surfetch in for free.
Until you said it. So now everyone's going to expect it because you said it. That's how this works, right?
Well, that's what I'm here for, is to ruin your fun.
Yeah, no, Surfetched is a great mon because when you're playing other teams with Surfetched, the game is, do they have a Surfetch switch in? And a lot of the time they don't, because...
Yeah. Surfetch is that mon that everyone goes, okay, whatever. They don't think about it.
Yeah.
And you start prepping for it and you realize, wait a minute, why does my entire team get one shot by this thing?
Yeah, like you bring it in against like a Registeel or something, and then it's like, you know, Mega Arrow, and then it's
that's a nice Aegis slash you have there. It'd be a shame if someone had scrappy close combat.
Yeah. You know, just comes in like, you know, poison jab for fairies. There's just it's very hard to switch something into it.
Yeah. It's what, 135 attack, scrappy close combat is not exactly easy to deal with.
No, especially with a band on. But yeah, 15th. Like, here's the thing with these power rankings: a lot of them can sort of be shuffled up a couple of spots, and because I think the quality of the teams is actually pretty close in general. Yeah. So
besides the bottom couple, we kind of agreed the bottom 2 or 3. We kind of felt were the bottom 2 or 3.
Yeah. And
everyone else is kind of, you can just put almost anywhere.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's essentially what's happened. So, you know, 15th, fine draft. It'll function. It does stuff. Anything else?
We pretty much hit everything. It's a very special snowflake. That's all I'm going to say. Had to get that one in there, just because.
Cryogonal, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, number 14. We've got one of the mods of WPF, Kaiwai, with the Las Vegas Latias. So, let's go through this. What happens here? So, View's just insane in draft. It just is. There's just a set that can come to every game and do well, because that's just what it is. Like, you know, it just provides insane hazards, setup, stall, like it just does anything, like counter stall, stall breaker, wall breaking, just anything you want it to do, it'll do. There's some, you know, Cooler Knights are very strong. Defog, I think this team actually loves the Wish support from Umbreon.
Yes.
I think these are just some fine individual mons, but they don't... These are some fine individual mons, but I don't know how well the team comes together. But... I mean, you know...
I think the team has a very, very noticeable lack of immediate power outside of really of Thunderous and maybe Drugalgy with spec sets.
Yes.
And there's also, what is this team's physical attacker?
It's Mew.
Or Wild Charge Thunderous. That's basically their physical attacker.
Yeah, I guess Corviknight? But Corviknight's not
well.
even a very strong physical... Banded...
And
Okay,
bulk up.
Banded Poltergeist Palossand.
Doesn't even. I'm pretty sure that doesn't even work.
What do you mean?
I love my castle, but
No,
I don't think...
I'm the biggest... I'm probably the biggest Palossand stan of all time.
Oh, no. You haven't met me yet, then.
Okay, also, there's a bit of an ice weakness, and, like, there's literally one Bolt Beam answer, and that's Lantern. And outside of that, everything just sort of dies to either a Thunderbolt or an Ice Beam, which is...
I don't like the fault teams for a Bolt Beam weakness, because that's really easy for teams to go, well, this team doesn't have a Bolt Beam resist, because everything's either hit neutrally or super effective with ice and electric, except for like 5-type combinations.
Yeah, but the difference is most of these Pokemon are hit either super effectively by one or the other. Like,
This is true.
What Pokemon are hit, like it's Umbreon and it's Mew and it's Lantern, and those are the ones that aren't hit super effectively by one or the other. So I think...
Fair, those aren't exactly bad mons to have that
Those
are
aren't
not
bad
hit
mons to
effectively.
have, but it is a bit of an issue. There's also just sort of general speed issues, like the Scarf options are really bad.
Well, that's part of it. That kind of fills into, because he has no offense. You can't really run Scarf when you don't have offense.
Yeah. There's a 30-point speed gap between you and Volcanion, which is really bad. So many 95 base attackers just go in.
Even just 80s.
Yeah, even like a Blaziken, man, that can just... Oof. Especially since Volcanion in a lot of matchups doesn't want to run speed either. In some matchups anyway. And that's a bit of an issue. Yeah.
There's something else I was going to point out. I don't remember what it was, though.
Strong logo. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's definitely not an unfunctional team. I don't think really any of them are, even the bottom ranked teams. But it just has its weaknesses that it can have advantage taken off. But a well played Mew can sort of win most matchups, and a really well played Mew can win most matchups.
Should they bring the right set?
Yeah, and sometimes it is hard to find the right Mew set, but it is just freaking insane. Do we want to move on?
As well.
Okay. We've got number 13, the Snowpoint Snorunt with Harbar. Harbar, is that how you say it?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay, Harbar. Another WPF mod. Great bot person as well. So, strength-wise, Coco and Medicham, I think, are a very strong pairing offensively. I think Wish Vaporeon is pretty good for Pokemon like Bronzong in this team, and just sort of in general. I think Vaporeon, Gligar, and Bronzong are a pretty neat sort of defensive trio that can sort of just wall teams a lot. Vaporeon's got Wish and Gligar has Roost. It's got it's got actual functional speed tiers. Probably has the best one so far. Yeah. It's got 2 good T-Spikers. Got some good some good offensive rockers, and a good defensive rocker. Yeah, it's just generally solid. This team, it's got a very, very bad Ghost matchup. I think the team sort of wants webs. I think. I don't know. This seems like a team to me that just really would love some webs, but it doesn't have it, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only it's got some. It does have issues with scarfers, because what are you putting a scarf on? Like,
Joking, maybe? Xerus, you can do that.
Hexorus.
Oh, good.
Okay, technical difficulties. We're back. Yeah, Hexorus is really the only scarfer on this team, like scarf option on this team. Because Metachamp. Oh god, imagine how good Mega Metachamp would be if it could run a scarf though.
I don't know how good it would be because it'd be banned immediately.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. Yeah, I think it's just a generally solid team. A little slow at times, but okay. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Like you kind of mentioned earlier, Ghost Resist Encino is not a good thing. That's kind of the main. That's the kind of the team's main issue, and it does have some problems with knockoff.
Yes. Yes, that is accurate. But apart from that, it's pretty fine. I like a slow flip turn Vaporeon into like Mega Metacham or Nidoking.
It's a Coco Medi team with Haxorus and Nidoking to back it up. That's pretty good by default.
To be honest, I could probably be higher.
Yeah. It's because the Coco Medi combo is that good.
Yeah. These were a little rushed, so sorry if the placements aren't the best, but I could definitely see.
Yeah, and also a lot of the teams are kind of just interchangeable in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So number 12 then, I think. Can we move on? Yeah, okay, number 12. Dragons of Smite, Johto Jones. Now that's a logo I love. Oh boy, it's so cute. So they've got... They have 3 spinners, which is pretty good hazard control. They've got grassy terrain with a Hitmonlee to take advantage of it, which is really good. Latias and Celesteela are a very sort of good defensive combo, I think. Pretty good speed tiers. Generally an okay, well, functional anyway. It's just okay team. But I think with 3 spinners, I think for a team to have 3 fucking spinners, it needs spikes or it needs toxic spikes. And it doesn't
webs
have
or something like that. Yeah.
It only has. It's like, what's the point of them? Like, I understand Hitmonlee isn't exactly the greatest spinner, but like, they all can run it, and I just think spikes would just help this team a lot. I think this team definitely wants a Wishmon, I think, for Celesteela and for Mega Blastoise. And I guess
Latias?
Does Latias get Wish? I don't think it does.
Does.
Give me...
Lati gets Wish. Latias gets Wish.
Okay, that's, I didn't know... How did I not know that? Oh my god, it does! How did I not know that?
People don't run it.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's a little rock weak. The only rock resist, like offensive rock resist is... Sorry, yeah, it's weak to rock moves. The only rock resist is Hitmonlee, which is a bit of an issue.
That's not even a real resist, because I think it's like, what, 60 defense without Grassy Seed?
Yeah, something ridiculously small like that.
3 HP, 53 defense. It's basically Kartana.
Yeah. Also, the only ghost resist is more Pico.
You can focus on the ghost resist all you want. My question is, your dark resist is Rillaboom and I guess not Rillaboom, Ribombee and Morpeko. Or Morpeko.
Hitmonlee.
Okay, well, yeah, Hitmonlee too.
Hitmonlee does have workable special defense, I will give it that.
Yeah. You have 3 kind of unstable dark resist.
Yeah.
A very unstable ghost resist.
Yeah.
And even worse by rock resist.
Yeah.
Okay, the more I look at this, I think we should switch the last 2 teams in the rankings.
I mean, this definitely has its, like a lot of passive healing will happen because of the the terrain. Oh, wait, no, it has webs. What the fuck am I talking about? Holy shit.
Wow, we're both dumb.
I'm so stupid.
Let's restart this one over.
Okay.
I'm so happy I walked into this. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, you have to get exposed to our stupidity.
Yeah, well,
I came in at the perfect time.
we talked about how a team doesn't have webs and how it would really like webs or some shit, and that it had webs.
No, it's even better. We were talking about Rabombi the entire time, too. We just ignored the fact that Rabombi's there and has webs. Yeah, it's dark reasons Rabombi.
Okay, are we actually gonna restart, or?
That's up to you.
We won't. Okay. You know what? I'll decide later. But let's pretend we're restarting. Oh yeah, they've got a really good Weber and Rabombi. Yeah. You'd have to be an idiot to not notice it. Also, someone has joined our call. Would you like to introduce yourself, please, Mister?
Yeah, this is me. This is Mr. Bagelman. I'm John of the D Division Mods, and welcome to the D Division Power Rankings that have taken way too long to do, and my apologies for that.
It's all good. We're
How's
at
everyone
12,
doing?
by the way, John. Oh, well, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am slightly wasted, but we are good.
Is that not the best?
So we good.
That's the best. I think that's the best sort of spirit to be in for power rankings. To be honest.
You're right. I am phenomenal right now.
Yeah, you just just
I can't
have some
I can't
more.
wait to tear. I cannot wait to just tear apart these shitters.
Yeah, just it's okay. Well, we're at
Should
12.
have been here 40 minutes
these.
ago, then.
This is a team that has some cool stuff, has some weak stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
I think this team is. Yeah, 3 spinners. It's webs, but nothing really takes advantage of the webs. I feel like.
SD Rillaboom, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Blastoise.
You can make a case for Hitmonlee, but Hitmonlee's gonna be unburdened.
Yeah, that is true.
Go.
That's actually you're not wrong. I do like 3 spinners to keep the webs up, but I don't know. Maybe offensive freaking. How much special attack does Haunter have? Does Specs Haunter go in on any teams?
It's like 100
Haunter is
or
good.
95.
General.
Haunter is great.
Yeah.
115 special attack is the answer to your question, by the way.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
It definitely isn't a team that hates web. Also, I guess Celesteela, like an offensive Celesteela set, especially one that doesn't want to run Automatize.
Back in last season when I played in D Division, I ran a Celesteela set that was autonomized, and I think he has potential with Celesteela. He could run in different ways, but it just depends on the rest of the prep. Because Celesteela kind of has that one role. Because where of his bulky mons, he has Regirock, Celesteela, Latias. I apologize. And you can maybe make a case for Pillow-Slime, but you really want to have that bigger defensive wall.
Not really. I mean, it takes a hit, I guess. It's not a wall, but it takes a hit.
I mean, and let's just not forget that his dark type is more Pico.
Yeah, that's really
That's a glaring thing right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the weaknesses. But I'm a big fan of Rillaboom with Glassy Glide. That shit just goes in.
Doesn't Oko Cinderace if it's +2?
Yeah, I thought it does, doesn't it?
I think it does. I've seen it on the ladder.
Yeah, that's scary. And I do think Web's Swords Dance Rillaboom is a set, because with +2 attack and boosts from your Life Orb and your grassy terrain, that shit's gonna hit even if grass is kind of bad. Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to say about this team.
Yeah.
See, this is my personal bias. So I play in a league called Coliseum, and I have a Regirock. Regirock is slowly becoming one of my favorite tier 5. It's tier 5, correct?
It's a tier 4.
Or whatever it is. It's I don't know how to explain it. Iron Defense body press spam with Regirock is just it's a different type of body press spam.
Yeah.
People run Corviknight body press, but Regirock is just it's because it's not its SPDEF is low, so you can run max SPDEF with body press.
Yeah.
I think if he has a good matchup with that, it has potential to just chip everything out of his team.
Yeah, to just
Yeah,
go
his
with.
opponent's team.
Especially since like you can pretty easily run like a rest talk set with that too, and you know,
Exactly.
just sort of. Especially if they don't have a ghost, that's just it's game.
GG.
Yeah.
Even fairy types don't want to take it.
No, so it's like a lot of fairy types are like, I mean, you know, some fairy types are really fucking frail anyway.
But I mean, and then the most, unless I'm missing something, is like especially defensive.
Yeah. But
Like I said, I might be missing some physical defensive fairy types. I don't know.
there definitely is. But okay, let's just move on to 11. The Ravens team, the Chicago Flash Fire. Alrighty. Sarah Orr is really good. That is my TED talk.
Well, what about Blacephalon? You know you love your Ultra Beast.
Like here's the thing. I can respect Ultra Beasts being good in battle, right? Like I think Celesteela is a fantastic Pokemon. You know, like Nihilego is very good for what it does. Blacephalon is completely fucking garbage. It is so bad. It is so bad. It does nothing. It is like genuinely, I think, the worst tier 2A by a long stretch. So sorry, I'll just get that off my chest immediately. It's so
There's
bad.
something worse.
What?
I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm sure there's something worse.
There's not. Blacephalon doesn't do anything. It doesn't. It's just. If you know how to play against a Blacephalon, it's literally useless.
And if I remember correctly, Ravens didn't even draft this team. The Hacker Killer 557 drafted it.
Oh. Okay, well, let's. Should we just pretend like this is a Hacker Killer team and just address him personally?
I mean, well, then. I mean, even if it's a Hacker Killer team or not, I do like his defensive mons being you can run defensive Shaman and Suicune. I think those two mons really work well together.
Yeah. I don't like the one dragon switch in, which is Klefki.
Yeah, and a lot of dragon types have ground coverage.
Yeah, and Klefki has no way of getting health in this team at all. There's not even like a Leech Seed mon.
There is Shaman that gets seeds.
Oh yeah,
Shaman
shit.
gets seeds.
Okay, there is one Leech Seed mon.
That's being generous to count that as a way to get health back on Klefki. Because, you leech seeded the fire type, congratulations. Are you gonna go Klefki on the fire type? No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And something else I see is the glaring weakness of removal. He has two Defoggers, one being Skuntank, which doesn't even want to come in on something setting up hazards really, other than Toxic Spikes. The other Aerodactyl, which I mean, you could run a support Aerodactyl.
I've run support Aerodactyl. Klefki also has defog.
Does it actually?
Yeah, but that's putting more pressure on Klefki, which already has to
Wait,
be...
since when did it get defog? Is it DLC?
No, it's had for ages.
Defog since it first came out in Gen 6.
Oh, well I use shit mods, so I apologize.
Fair enough. There's a big speed gap between 130 and 107, and you know the Pokemon at 107 is Blacephalon, and it's not a mon. It's got a lot of actual hazards in general, like some spikers, some webs, some rockers. It has
Does Skuntank get Toxic Spikes?
Just beg pardon?
What? Get Toxic
Skuntank.
Spikes? No, it doesn't.
No.
That doesn't? Okay.
Yeah.
A 2 spiker. That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandslash getting spikes definitely helped it out.
Yeah. And you know, I honestly I think a lot of these Pokemon actually really want spikes on the field.
They like spikes and they like webs, and he's got both.
Yeah.
On good Pokemon, mind you, but he's got them.
Do not disrespect Dottler. Dottler is the best tier 5 webs Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Okay, if we're gonna narrow it down to the best tier 5 webs Pokemon, then yeah, okay, it can have that.
It's so good. Hey, it gets Trick Room and it gets fucking webs. It is the god of speed control.
Hey, you know what? Don't disrespect Pyroar. It's the best tier 5 fast fire type Pokemon.
That's not even true. Magmar's better.
Magmar's not fast.
Magmar gets teleport.
Yeah, exactly.
Magmar's not even fast. The qualification of fast.
Stop bullying. Stop bullying my Dottler. It's cute. You know,
Very cute.
This team also has like a really bad ice weakness. Granted, he has a Suicune that switches in.
Yeah, but it does it. Yeah, it takes a lot of chip every time it switches in, and there's no.
Yeah.
That Suicune is also his best fire resist.
Yeah.
A long shot.
And
I mean,
Shuriken's not coming all the
considered
time,
Dragon.
and Clown, as we've established, is not anything resembling a switch-in. Anything.
Like this team's gonna be very predictable to prep against, which maybe Ravens can take advantage of, like knowing that
Yeah,
what his opponent's gonna be prepping for. But
because that is a thing with Dom Galat. You basically have to run a Scartha with 95 with more than 95 speed, or you have to bring webs against it or something.
I will say this though: if I don't see Zen mode G Darn once this season, Ravens will come back to coach. I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
No, the real OGs bring Zen mode, belly drum, regular Darmanitan, and you just use the belly drum to get you into Zen mode and nothing else. And then, because it doesn't matter about the attack boosts anymore, you're in Zen mode. It's much more efficient than the substitute method.
I definitely like the mods he has on his team. I just don't like how they don't mesh. They don't synergize.
No, they don't.
Zeraora needs more help, and he doesn't have any help.
Yeah. Although again,
Like,
Zeraora is very good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not, but maybe like G Dom's pivot could help out. But like, what else gets momentum here?
Zeraora itself.
And
Dottler,
G-Darn.
I think.
I don't think Dottler even
Okay,
gets
but-
momentum.
Doesn't get U-turn like Orbital does?
No, I don't think it does.
I will confirm that right now.
Yeah, there's only 3 momentum options I wrote down, but I didn't actually say which they are. But if there's only 3, that's pretty bad.
And
Oh,
might be
Shaman.
Dottler. I don't know.
Does Shaman get U-turn?
Dottler does not get. No,
Oh.
it does not.
Oh,
Neither does Dottler.
Does Blacephal? I don't, but there's not many.
Okay, so he's
momentum
got 2. He's got Darm and he's got Zeraora.
Yeah, okay. Bit of an issue. Okay. Number 10. The Ipswich Infernapes with Ollie Boy.
Back again for another season.
Yeah. I don't... Okay, good. Can you, talk about these coaches? Because I think we were supposed to, but I don't know half of them. So I didn't want to go oh, yeah, he is Habar. He's really cool. He does Porygon Bot. Oh, look, here's Ollie Boy. He exists.
I mean, I'm gonna just go off a whim. My memory's not great.
Okay, never mind then. I won't put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. Put me on the spot. It makes it more
Okay.
interesting when I make stuff up.
Tell us everything about Ollie Boy. Tell us what he, tell us his, dreams, his aspirations, whether he likes pineapple on pizza. Tell us everything
What
about
is
him.
what is social?
Well, I need that for my own purposes, so I can't say that.
Oh, okay.
I will say though, he barely missed out on playoffs last season. He went 5-5 plus 2. I
That's-
think he was. So there was a 4-way tie pretty much from 9th through 12th. Everyone was 5-5 from 9th place to 12th place.
Damn.
But for top 2 have 4 differential, the bottom 2 had 2. So he barely missed out on playoffs.
That's a shame. Maybe he can make playoffs this season.
I'm confident with it. But he likes to bring oddball teams. He always brings something that people wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And that's something I could respect. Last season, he had a Drifblim. It went 10-4 in 8 games. A Drifblim.
That's pretty cool. Drifbloom
He's
is the
Tapu
classic
Koko.
oddball Pokemon.
His Tapu Koko he brought every game went 11-8. So you can see he doesn't have to completely rely on his top mods, which makes it. I feel like it makes him more confident later on throughout the game.
But speaking of
and
top mons,
just throughout the season.
speaking of top mons,
Mega Dancer.
Diancie Mega is a very good.
It is, especially that you can run physical now.
Yeah, play rough and really just most of the play rough is all it needed, really.
Yeah. I never ran an explosion set once. That's fun.
That's cool. It's got some good hazards and it's got some good hazards, some, two spin. Like, it's got Fortress, which is just the hazard mon, which I think actually works in some team. Like, Fortress is a lot better with body press now, because now you can't just, laugh at it and expect that it has no offensive presence. It actually has some sort of presence. Yeah, exactly. No hidden
There's
power.
no random HP.
I think I really like the slow volt, slow volt switch on Fortress for this team to bring in Mega Diancie and Weavile and Infernape on a Pokemon that switches in on a Fortress.
You know what I think is probably going to be in the long run? I think it's going to be too reliant on certain mons, because look at all of his bulky mons. How many of them want to take a physical hit?
Fortress and Licky Licky, I guess.
Licky Licky's mainly special defensive.
I thought it was even.
It's even. I mean, it's preferred if it's like, if I remember correctly, it is even, but it's mainly always like Spadef sets that come.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, but primarily, it's Fortress and Cresselia.
Yeah.
Everything else is Spadef. Don't get me wrong, I love Licky Licky. It was my MVP last season in D Division.
I've never used it, but it seems pretty cool. It always gets drafted, so it's got to be kind of good.
It's fantastic. It's a really good wish passer.
Yeah, and I think that's what this team really does like a good wish passer.
Definitely.
For Gudra and stuff like that, and Fortress. I think just Weavile, Mega Diancie, and Infernape are a very good sort of offensive trio, especially 100%. With the great spike support that this team has, with an offensive spiker and a defensive spiker. Yeah.
Yeah, Roserade is also a nice mod to have, especially being a grounded poison and getting rid of toxic spikes.
I'm such a big fan of Roserade.
I absolutely adore it.
It only has one rock resist though, and that is Drillbur, which I don't understand at all why it's here. I guess to resist rock, but there's gotta be a better one in tier 5 somewhere.
Let's just say you did it for clout.
I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if frickin' Sandshrew's better than it. I wouldn't know though, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sandshrew was better than it.
Drillbur gets mold breakers, so I'll give it that.
Offensive Drillbur with its what are its stats?
Probably something abysmal.
Okay, here we go. Here's Drillbur's stat line: 60 HP, 85 attack, 40 defense, 30 special attack, 45 Spadef, and 68 speed.
I mean, 85 attack isn't bad, but everything else just kind of makes it more dog shit.
Yeah, that is fucking terrible. Yeah, no, that honestly might be worse than Sandshrew.
Sandshrew is 50 HP, 75 attack, 85 defense, 20 special attack, 30 Spadef, and 40 speed. The Sandshrew is weaker but bulkier.
It's depressing when we're literally comparing Sandshrew and Drillbur. That's all I'm gonna say.
Welcome to WPF.
There has to be a better T5 type in there, though.
Yes.
Well, there definitely is. You just gotta actually look.
Yeah, like Golurk, but then again, Golurk's been taken.
Golurk got picked, and I'm pretty sure it's T4 anyways.
No, Golurk is T5.
Golurk
really?
Is T5.
Yes.
Really? You got left in T5 even with Poltergeist?
Yeah, it's probably the best defensive T5, but... yeah, I think...
His,
there's also,
his removal seems pretty weak, no?
Yeah, it's like Mantine.
I mean, he's got Drillbur.
And Drillbur and Fortress. Those are his, main removal ones, and I guess he's got Diancie Mega for, magic
You also have Rotom and Mantine.
Yeah, so it's honestly fine. It's not the greatest, but it's fine. What are his...
If he runs... Sorry, I was going to say, if he runs into a ground type with Mold Breaker or a Zygarde, he just gets very sad very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Also...
Let's just hope for his sake it doesn't happen.
Yeah, also... a water attacker with ice coverage, the only real answer to that is Mantine. anything else wants to take those 2 stabs on this team?
I mean, Crest takes pretty much anything that's not super effective because Crest is bullshit.
Crest is a good mod for this team, though. I do like
Crest
it.
is amazing.
But the problem is, you just don't want to be too reliant on it.
Yeah.
It has Trick Room, but I don't think he ever runs it in this team.
I don't know what he would use Trick Room for.
Yeah, but it's,
Offensive Fortress?
it's an option. Get Trick Room, Fortress, Explosion, and then you win.
I mean, that sounds good if this is Gen 4.
Yeah. Okay, number 9.
Yeah, before the explosion nerf.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't the Explosion nerf Gen 6?
Gen 5. Oh, no, Gen
5.
Gen 5.
4 Gen 5.
I think it was Gen 5 they nerfed it.
Okay. Number 9, the ZL Ludicolo's, the coach is Rom.
Oh, what a good pal.
Yeah, tell us about Rom, John.
Well,
Is he a vacuous spider?
His favorite mod is Ludicolo, if I remember correctly.
I mean, it's his logo, so it makes sense.
I mean, Drapion's my logo. Drapion's not my favorite Pokemon.
Fair enough. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Alright, so Ludicolo's, okay, I'm kidding though. It's actually Nidoking.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. But
Yeah, I used to go by the Nassau Nidokings. Those were dark times in my career.
Wait, I think I remember you being that when I first joined ICL.
Yeah.
Regardless, CL Ludicolo's are... So, Lele, Sardex, and Thundurus are just gonna sort of break some teams in half, because it's just what they do. Especially together. I think Silvally is a good pickup for this team, because it has some type weaknesses, but that's double-edged compliment, because it's got some fucking type issues.
And then you just have a whole ass Ferrothorn.
Ferrothorn is stupid. Silvally, I think, wants to either be a Dark Resist or a Ground Resist for this team. Like, it can't be both. So, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, Ferrothorn is just stupidly good. But, I think these are the worst speeds I've ever seen in a draft in my life. Like, these are so fucking bad.
Yeah. Well, you got 100 with Megazord.
101.
Is what? 111?
No, 101.
111 is Thunderous Eye.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got Lele, which is 95.
Yeah. And here's the thing, they can only, of all their, fast mons, they can run Scarf on 2 of them. Actually, 3. They can run Scarf Tentacruel, which is the greatest Pokemon of all time, Scarf Lele, which is, I think, significantly worse than Specs Lele, or just damage-boosting Lele in general, and Thunderous T. Because you can't run Scarf on Silvally unless you're going normal Silvally, and you can't run Scarf
normal
on
Silvally's
Charizard
not
X.
bad though.
I guess.
Listen, any Silvally is good because multi-attack is 120 base power move that doesn't miss.
That's pretty cool. So does multi-attack just revert to normal if you're not holding something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judgment.
But I think he doesn't want to
Pretty much.
necessarily run normal Silvally a lot.
No.
I mean, it's always matchup dependent.
Yeah, that's the thing with Silvally. I think there's only one Dark Resist on this team.
And that's Pangoro.
Yeah, and yeah, that's not the best. Like, it's quarter resistant, but it's Pangoro, it's not a defensive Pokemon.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have decent HPs, if I remember correctly?
It might, but it's got no way of getting health back into itself.
I mean, other than Drain Punch.
Yeah, it's got 95 HP, but then 78 defense and 71 special defense, which I don't think you want as your primary dark switch-in, especially since a lot of dark types can have coverage to hit it well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Dark and Fighting typing isn't the best at all. I mean, it's not the worst, but...
Thunderbug, what do you think?
I think there's a much better Dark Fighting type, which we'll get to in a little bit, but needless to say, yeah, it's here. You're going to rely a lot on Mudsdale to save him from rock types, too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I don't think we mentioned much. His hazard removal is kind of not the best. Tentacruel's fine, and then after that, it's Charizard and Thundurus.
Doesn't
And
Savali
Savali, I guess.
default? Yeah.
Savali, too, but again, now you're putting more time Savali has to do things.
Yeah, because it already sort of...
So Savali now has to defog and fill in type weaknesses. Never fun.
Look, do put respect on Tentacruel, though. It's goated.
It is a good mon. The Scarf Tentacruel. I once got a game where I had 5 kills with Scarf Tentacruel somehow. I don't know how it happened, but it just did.
No one expects it. Except maybe on this team, when I would genuinely expect Scarf Tentacruel in a matchup where Specs Lele is too good to ignore, and
or like Scarf
value a certain type.
Scarf Hoopa shit too, but I don't think Hoopa's really gonna ever come in this team because I don't think it does anything for him.
Not really. I mean, it's just
Hoopa's just kind of there.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I needed? I needed another wall breaker. That's basically what he decided.
Yeah.
And it's not even. Oh, isn't it even a good wall breaker? It really is. I feel like.
Well, I mean, it's tier 3B for a reason.
It's just its speed is very lackluster.
It's so slow. Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to say about this team?
Go wrong. Fuck Ludicolo.
Okay. This just in, John wants to have sex with a Ludicolo. Number 8, we've
You
got
see its
the
mouth wide open.
Dretchtown Glossopons.
Yeah, that beat though.
I forgot to put the name of the person on the slides, but it is Scuffenerape?
Scat.
Scuffenerape, whatever.
He's another one of you. I don't remember if he's Australian or New Zealand. I think he's from New Zealand. From New Zealand. But he's from your time zone, pretty much.
What are you talking about? Look, let me just say, if it's not 1:30 right now, what the fuck are you doing?
Also, as we all know, Keith Sheldon is clearly a fake Australian. He's a fake Australian.
I have been accused of being a fake Australian a lot in my life.
I mean,
You told me about that yesterday.
Because apparently my accent doesn't sound very Australian.
Like, you compared to Electric is just, like, no comparison. Like, he's the real Australian. You're just kind of there. You're like the guy who moved to Australia trying to fit in.
I'm scum. Yeah, like... you're right, I'm actually French.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Nonsense. If you were French, you would have written...
Frenchman.
You know, I know for a fact you're not French because if you were, you would have ran away from your responsibility to this power ranking.
Wait, does that mean I'm French?
Yes.
Maybe?
I think you're more Italian.
Oh, no. Kai's French.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you're like a step above, because, you know...
I'm in here.
Yeah. Some, competent speed tiers, which is rare for this draft, for this, for this division, I think. Not that's... I don't want to be too mean, but it's a good selection of
Well,
rocks
we have to
and
remember,
spikers.
he was in B Division last year, but he had... I'm not going to beat around the bush. He had a pretty bad season last season, so he got demoted pretty harshly. But I've seen him play ICR. He's done relatively well.
Yeah, he's not bad, so I think he's got a decent shot at doing well. I think, there's just a lot of
drafted Melmetal, though, so...
Oh, what?
He drafted a Melmetal, so he's guaranteed going to lose, all 10 games.
I didn't... Here's the thing. In last season of ICL, I drafted Melmetal. I won it to 5 games. I lost those 5 games. I won the 5 games that didn't come. So, I don't know, man. I think... I think... I kind of like Belissi with Melmetal, just because Belissi actually has the health to give Melmetal decent wishes, which might, matter a lot. even if they're both sort of weak to fighting types. One's really physically defensive, one's really specially defensive, so you can sort of, outside of fighting types, sort of switch the two
I'm a big
around
fan
for
of
the
it.
things that want to hit them.
But where is his fighting type switching now that we talk about it? Frostlass?
Gardevoir.
His fighting type
Ooh.
resists are Frostlass, Gardevoir, and Talonflame.
I mean, it's not awful then. Flame Body, Talonflame. I feel
Yeah,
like it'd be
he's
a good
got
brain.
he's got 3, but like 2 of those
Here's-
just
okay.
collapse to
Okay.
stone edges. Like,
No, here's the problem with Flame Body, Talonflame. Flame Body now is activated. It was a Guts fighting type. Now you just lose harder.
yeah, but how many? There is a fair amount of guts fighting types, I guess.
It's like the most generic ability that gets slapped on like half the fighting types.
I think it's also a bit ice weak. I think outside of Melmetal. Like, what's the ice switch in?
See?
Frostlass, I guess.
I mean, Blissey kind of switches into anything, special tackling wise.
Now, yeah, I am not a fan of the Blissey Melmetal pairing at all. Mainly because it's also not just Blissey Melmetal, it's Blissey, Melmetal, and Hydreigon. These are your 3 best Pokemon, and they're all weak to fighting. As we established, you don't have very good fighting resist.
Yeah.
Melmetal's best thing it wants to do is have someone give it health back all the time. Blissey is not a good patch to Melmetal. If they go into their fighting type and quick close combat, you're probably dying anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That is true.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
That's
This
that's
team
my problem with
loses-
this team.
You see that girder he has on his team?
Mhm.
If that girder was on someone else's team, that girder would have won already.
Yeah, but it's Gerda. It's Gerda 6-0s every fucking team. It just does. It's almost as good as Conkeldurr, but yeah, that
There
is
are there
a
huge
big
questions?
issue with this team, which is why it's not higher. Even though I like the 1-2 wall breaking, like offensive punch of Melmetal and Hydreigon, I also don't like that. I don't know. This is just to me. He could struggle against bulky waters because the only Leonardus is bad, and the only other sort of electric or grass type is Rotom Mow, and Melmetal really approves the bulky waters being gone.
You also threw the problem point I was going to bring up.
Just slap a fucking Rocky helmet on them and call it a day.
You also
and
brought up
that could be
something
a
that
bit
I
of an
was gonna
issue
bring
if
up.
something happens to, Rotom Mow.
Yeah, as I was going to bring up before you start on that, why is Lurantis tier? It basically does everything Rotom-Mow does, except worse.
Oh crap! My headphones fell out. Sorry if I was talking over you guys. My headphones fell out.
Oh, good. Good.
Honestly, like, isn't it obvious that Lurantis is gonna be his kill leader? Contrary to Storm's superpower.
Oh yeah, with that sexy fucking. Let me look at its speed because I think it's
What is it,
disgusting.
It was like 45, 50.
45
35
speed.
speed. 80 special attack.
I mean, okay, is its
Almost
coverage?
a shittier superior.
I mean, its coverage might be better than Superior's. We don't know. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's check real quick. We got Leaf Storm. No Signal Beam got cut.
Superpower.
Oh, it's got Weather Ball. Okay, so it's Lurantis' special moves at this time are Storm, Hyper Beam, a bunch of other grass moves. That's it.
Yeah, at least it has sort of, as John said, superpower, so kind of a physical pool.
Its physical move pool is much better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Well, it doesn't. Then it just does superpower contrary and it wins.
I mean, I don't know about that one.
It definitely wins.
It got Grassy Glide, so it got that going for it.
Does it even get grassy terrain?
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Because not many Mons actually get grassy. Oh, it does get grassy terrain. There you go.
Oh, there's the combo right there. There's the Wombo combo. Superpower, set up Grassy Terrain, then Grassy Glide through the opponent's team.
The best. Okay, number
If I don't
7.
see that, I'm dropping WPF.
He's gone.
Number
Number 7. I think we can move on to that. The Philadelphia Phantoms by Malcolm 24.
Another Speed Tour GOAT and ICL C Division legend.
Did he? Oh, that's right. Paco won ICLC division, didn't
Yeah.
he? So we've got. This is a team that just sort of has some really good physical breakers in Shifu, Alolan Marowak, and Sizzle.
It's like all the mons he has gained new moves
Yeah.
in DLC. Like Poltergeist Marowak is gonna be fun, and to pair that with Trick Room with the rest of his team.
Yeah, like Slowbro met like Alowak with a Trick Room setting teleport mon fucking slaps.
And Aromatisse too. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Aromatisse. Aromatisse is the best like low tier fairy type to fight me.
Mm.
I don't think it's a controversial opinion, but like it's just so good for everything it does. Like I'd take it over a lot of the tier 3B fairies, to be honest.
I like this team a lot.
Yeah, I like it. It's just a decent team. I think issues wise, outside of Mega Slowbro, it's very weak to a Pokemon with Stone Edge and Earthquake, and I know a lot of teams are weak to that, but it's switching to Slowbro and Torterra.
Torterra.
Which I don't respect Torterra as a Pokemon, I'm gonna be honest.
Whoa.
Do you not see the game where Torterra just completely destroyed that dude earlier?
Let me just say, it's the worst starter in tier 5. The worst grass starter in tier 5.
You literally like Meganium. I don't want to hear a single word.
I don't think it's fucking good.
Okay, but if you think Torterra is worse than Meganium, whatever drugs you're on, give them to me right now.
Yeah, sure. I'll hook you up. Come to Australia.
Like, in what world? Like, hold on. You know,
Look.
I don't even want to talk about it.
No, I agree. It's better than Meganium. It's fine.
Alright then, just as long as we get that across.
It's fine. Although it doesn't have
I'm
dual
interested in
screens.
seeing how he plays with Urshifu.
Yeah, Urshifu. Thunderbug. I know you're a huge fan of Urshifu.
That's a way to put it. I think it's stupid, broken, and completely fucking unfair.
There we go.
To say about it. Yeah, that's my opinion. I wanted to put this team top 5 simply because of Urshifu. I don't care if he had Lilip and a bunch of LCs. I'd still put a top 10. That's how stupid I think Urshifu is. I want it gone by next season.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
I hate it. I hate its entire existence.
Yeah. I think weakness-wise though, it's got one good rocker. Like, it's got Lycan Rock Dusk, and that's only an offensive rocker. Like, Torterra I don't think comes to many games. I mean, it might.
Stealth Rocks.
Yeah. Wait, it does have Stealth Rocks, doesn't it?
Yeah, Marowak gets Stealth
yeah.
Rocks.
But yeah, I don't know how much you want to run Stealth Rock on Arrow. I mean, I guess it's a bring as well. Scold just goes in on this team. You click a Scold and you watch your opponent cry. Because Urshifu doesn't like the burn, Raikou doesn't like the burn, Marowak gets hit super effectively, I guess Noivern and Aromatisse are fine, Totoro doesn't like the burn, Slowbro doesn't like the burn, especially after it's been Megoed, Scizor hates the burn, Drapion hates the burn, or Lycanroc Dusk just gets hit and killed. Like, it's very weak to Scold specifically. Like, just most of these Pokemon hate taking it. Yeah. There's also a big speed gap between 95 and 65.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you have to also remember, this team's like half Trick Room.
Yeah, but that is true. So it's not the worst, but it's still present.
He just has to figure out how he wants to manage his prep.
Yeah. It's definitely a fine team, but just Scold's the biggest weakness I see against it, because nothing wants to take that burn at all on this team. Nothing wants
This
to
team's another team that's weak to Zygarde.
Yeah. I think a lot of teams are weak to Zygarde.
Zygarde's dog shit though, in my opinion.
I'll have you know that Torterra can beat Zygarde.
Maybe John's right then. Maybe Zygarde is dog shit.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's just my personal bias. I just think it's stupid.
I actually like Torterra. Why am I being mean to him?
Everyone likes Torterra.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, Torterra's great.
I like call Torterra in a loving way because I love Torterra.
Okay.
What's my favorite starter? Like line.
I think all the Gen 4 starters slap in terms of their design, to be honest.
Yeah, I just wish they showed Torterra more respect.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
I think that's it. I just want to make one announcement. I'm like half asleep right now, so I just want to thank the two of you for having me. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to head out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sleep well,
Nice having you.
Sweet Prince.
Alright. Everyone enjoy the rest of the PRs, and everyone give thanks to Keith and Thunderbug for carrying, because I don't like PRs, and I'm just doing this for Riz, so I don't get demoted.
Okay. Well, yeah. Rest easy.
Everyone be well.
Okay. Well then,
Right.
with him, let's move on to number 6. The Chicago White Sox with Snowy Kuruma. He's someone that I've played in a few leagues with. He's pretty cool. And he was in D Division, but I don't remember how well he did in D Division last season, but he's back here again. And he's got a team that is pretty okay. Yeah, Lando T in a no HP league is pretty good.
It's a good wish passer.
Yeah, Sylvia.
Very good wish passer.
Yeah, it also helps Empoleon a lot. Some good rock options. He's got a Cellgore, which is the most reliable spiker in the game, specifically because it will get one spike in most matchups before it dies, because it's that fast.
Huh?
Yeah, that's just how it works.
That's Excelgor's role, is to be fast and either click Final Gambit or Spikes. That's all it does.
Sometimes Specs bug buzz, but
That's very rare. Most of the time it's Final Gambit or Spikes.
yeah. I've got a lot of respect for a Cellgore, but
Yeah, I do too.
yeah, the pairing of Lando T and Empoleon with Wish support I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of offensive momentum here. There's just a lot of offensive Pokemon in general. Yeah, I like it. Mega Pinsir I think slaps. Even it's a lot worse without return, but it's cheaper without return, so it's fine. And just quick attack, priority flying is a very as we all saw with freaking Talonflame in Gen 6.
It's a very valuable tool.
Oh, very strong. Very, very strong.
Because Pinsir was part of those bird spam teams.
Yeah. With and because it's just got crazy stats, and after us if you can somehow get a Swords Dance, it just muscles through everything. Well, a lot of things. But weakness wise, there's only 2 flying resists and 1's Heliolisk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a thing.
Yeah, that's really weak. I guess the other's Empoleon. I think Sylveon's gonna have to have a fair amount of pressure put onto it, I think. In terms of it wants to get a lot of wishes off, wants to switch in a lot of hits. I think that it's a lot of pressure to put it, especially since there's also Muck and which was I think Hariyama, which are also both kind of like a wish Pokemon. So it's gonna have to come in a lot, do a lot of wishing, then baton passing out or something, or and putting too much pressure on it, it'll just eventually break because there's a huge speed gap between 91 speed and 60 speed, and they don't actually have amazing speed control to remedy this. I don't think they have any speed control to remedy this.
I don't see anything.
Yeah. Which is a little bit of an issue, but besides that, it's a fine team. I like the double spin for rocks, the double spin with spikes for Pinsir. Yeah.
Completely off topic, back to what we were talking earlier. Random fun Excelgor fact. If you run a Scarf Excelgor in Gen 7 OEU, you can outspeed most of the common Halucha sets and insta-kill them with Final Gambit. Did that on ladder all the time. It was the funniest shit. The funniest shit. Like, oh, what's this Excelgor gonna do? I'm gonna SC in its face. Died immediately in the Final Gambit. It was the funniest shit. Yeah, I was Scarf. I remember I ran it Scarf at like max HP, something like 72 special attack or something like that. Near max speed, but not max speed specifically. I had like U-turn, Bug Buzz, Final Gambit, and I forgot what the fourth move was, but it outsped and killed Scarf Greninjas, it killed Ashgren, and it killed Unburdened Haluchas. It was the funniest, probably my favorite set I've ever used in ladder.
Pokemon that gives what you put gives back how you pilot it, if that makes any sense. Like the better you pilot it, the more it does for you.
The amount of effort you put into making it work, it pays off in spades because of what it can do.
Oh, yeah,
it has tools that you know what you're doing can be really scary to deal with.
It won me my what's it called, my first finals game. It won me my game round 1 finals playoffs game last season WPF because it just final gambited a Pokemon, and that Pokemon was Dracovish, and I was a rain team, so
that's always good. Let's see, you traded a valuable opponent's Pokemon they didn't want to sacrifice, something you decided you wanted to sacrifice, and was an Excelgor.
Yeah. I mean,
it's always a win-win trade.
Yeah, and the first league I ever won, Excelgor was the Pokemon that got the last kill. So, it's definitely a very good Pokemon. But outside of that, I don't know. I think this is just a generally decent team. Yeah, just, like I think it comes together pretty well. Reboot's a pretty cool tier 5. It's just
a nice tech option.
Yeah, it's one of the teams where I can see what everything does. Like I don't think any of the Pokemon aren't going to come for a week. But
I could see everything in this team I could see coming at least 2 to 3 times a season.
Yeah, like it's not to say it's the perfect team, but everything has a role. Yeah. Okay, but just a few issues. Anyway, we've got number 5. The Toronto Maple Nuzleafs, which is the first and only team with no logo, so it gets some more things. With Epic Pants. Okay. So, Mega Scizor is fucking stupid. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think it's generally fair.
Yeah. It's just so stupid in this.
With a real fire resist, and he's got a couple of real good fire resists.
Yep, Miltank, and
Klinger.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, this is just a very solid team. It's just put together well. It's got Primarina as well to resist fire. It's got some really strong. It's just got some really strong options offensively, and it's got some. It's not completely useless defensively. Scizor is more physically bulky than Skarmory. Yeah, and it's got better special defense. So and it's also got insane attack. It's just so stupid. Yeah. So that's a thing. We've got Gengar, just another strong offensive. I don't want to just read through every single Pokemon, but this is another team where you can just sort of do that. I think 115 is a bit slow as a top speed and it's Sneasel, which I don't think is the greatest Pokemon, but there's a lot of just strong scarfing options like Gengar, and you can run Scarf Dharm is fine. Scarf Zapdos. This is a team with spikes and spin and rocks and
all sorts of unpleasantness.
Yeah. It's only got one flying resist, but the flying resist is Zapdos. So whatever.
And then, of course, Zapdos with Hurricane now is really actually extremely annoying to deal with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like being able to just... Because flying's a very good offensive type.
Then add in Hurricane, Heat Wave, and then a stab electric moves. It's really hard to actually deal with Zapdos defensively.
Or you can run it defensively too, regardless, and just, get a bunch of static burns and...
And then it's still all that coverage. Like 3 attacks Roost Zapdos is still as good as ever.
Yeah.
Been like the best thing since basically Roost came out and whatever it was, Gen 2 or whatever it was when it got Roost.
Gen 4 is when Roost came out.
Gen 4, okay, yeah. Basically since then, yeah.
Oh god.
Well, Gen 2 is still Rest.
Roost in Gen 2 would have broken Gen 2, that's all
I
I'm
meant
gonna
Rest.
say.
No, I meant Rest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we did Rest in Gen 2, and then Roost was I can't remember if it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, Roost is Gen 4.
Basically, ever since then, it's basically always been like Rest Talk or Rest 3 attacks or Roost 3 attacks.
Yeah.
Always been its best set and always will be.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in Gen 4, but oh well. If it was a Rest Talk set in Gen 3, but to be honest, it's Gen 3.
I'll just see what Smogon says, because they're the God Emperor of Pokemon, as we all know.
Oh shit, let's go. We're on the field. Researching.
We're now going to research old gens. Here we go.
Yeah. Don't say you don't learn stuff about Pokemon from this. You just learned the things you didn't want to learn.
Yeah, let's see. Ruby Sapphire, standard offensive set. Thunderbolt, and then Hidden Power, Grass or Ice. Thunder Wave or Toxic, and then Roar, Pass, Protect, Toxic in the last slot.
Okay.
Max Special Attack, Max Speed.
Oh, Gen 3 and 4 were like the days you'd run Baton Pass just for like a momentum move before, everything got Volt Switch and U-Turn. Like U-Turn was
also,
Gen 4, I guess.
in that day without Team Preview, with you Baton Pass, and they went like hard Tyranitar, you just killed it with Doug Trio and immediately won games.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
By the way, Gen 4 Zapdos, Thunderbolt, Roost, Hidden Power, and then Heat Wave.
Yeah.
That's the standard set.
Yeah.
3 attacks Roost.
Good old Zapdos. Anyway, enough talking about Zapdos. Anything else you want to say about this team? I don't know, generally it's pretty good. I think...
Yeah, it's got a lot of scary shit that could do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's got some decent
there's
defenses.
Mons. And there's a couple Mons in this team that are Mons that just never die. Zapdos, Miltank, and Mega Scissor. They never die.
It's just the amount of you have to really, you can't just hit it with an unvested flamethrower like you think you can.
No. Then it just bounces off to like 50%, and then it U-turns out, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, then it just roosts, when it has like a billion opportunities to.
There's nothing more sad than watching a Mega Scissor SD in the face of a flamethrower and only take like 40%.
Yeah. Okay, number 4 then. The Art of Men by Daniel. This is a classic Daniel logo. He's an artist, what can I say? So, this is I really like Clefable and Mega Garlard together. I think that's really good. Just being able to pivot in Mega Garlard with the teleport is stupid. I can also, bring in Obstagoon with the teleport.
Yes.
It's got good hazard game. Toxapex. Like this is a team that can play the offensive and defensive game pretty well. This team is a team that loves webs. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Galvantula, it does love its webs a lot because Obstagoon really likes its webs and Mega Galad really likes its webs, and I think offensive Clefable sometimes really likes its webs. It does have its weaknesses though. I think the only special attacker in this entire team is Clefable, and Clefable's great, but
I mean, there's
it's got
Galvantula.
Yeah, it does have Galvantula too, I guess.
You cannot sleep on the very vaunted, all-knowing and all-powerful Specs Pex.
It has what's this fucking... I'll have to get off Black and White Zapdos to figure out what
What are we trying to figure out now?
what are its offensive stats? Oh, 53. Banded Pex is better. What the fuck? It's got 10 more attack. 63 attack
No,
and 53.
you don't get it. You use Specs Packs with Merciless Venoshock.
Get out of here.
Am I wrong though?
You're not wrong. You're just an asshole, as the Big Lebowski would say.
You know what? It also learns Hex. You can use Specs Packs with Hex.
Hex, it gets Spite though. Spite Toxapex is strong. In terms of weaknesses, yeah, like again, some limited special attacking options. The hazard removal isn't actually that amazing. It's Avalog and it's Skarmory, and Skarmory sometimes has some fourth move slot syndrome issues with,
But also,
Roost and...
I would argue, however, it doesn't really need it because it's not particularly weak to Stealth Rock.
It's not.
It doesn't care about spikes really at all either. Toxapex absorbs toxic spikes.
It cares about
And it's gonna,
I think.
and between Pex and Skarmory spikes, it's gonna make everyone else want to defog. So it doesn't really need to be
exactly.
defog.
So,
but it does lack anything.
Well, that's why it's so high up the list. It's not that big of an issue, even though it is an issue.
Yeah.
The 95 to 70 speed gap's a little dicey, but again, Webs helps that a little. Still, though, it's something to consider. And yeah, I mean, your man's pretty good, I think. I think we can say that safely.
Yeah. Delayed, Pex, Clef, and Skarmory probably can come to every game, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, and then even outside of that, you've got some good options, like Doggo, Galv, Obstagoon,
And Scorch randomly a couple games.
Yeah. Some banded Pseudo... I actually don't like Sudowoodo at all, but...
Nobody likes Sudowoodo.
Maybe it's a man. Maybe that's why it was drafted into the Art of
I think
Man.
3 people drafted Sudowoodo, and they're all wrong.
You hear that, Daniel? You're wrong. He is wrong, actually. Sudowoodo's garbage. But, okay, anything else to say about this team?
This team's never going to die either. I don't know. Good luck killing this team.
Yeah. 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 Oh god, Clefable. It's so dumb. Okay, number 3. We've got the best logo of all time. The
Accurate.
Minneapolis Momo Swine with a classic, Ice Age Manny. What a movie. I didn't know who I was before I saw that movie, let me tell you. It's just changed my life forever, man. When, people talk about how, Brick turning into a pickle's the funniest shit they've ever seen. You haven't seen that one squirrel with its nut, man. It's just... I don't know why it didn't win an Oscar. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why this team doesn't win an Oscar, by the way. It's Jirachi Kiss.
I was going to say, speaking of things that have nutty squirrels, if you play Jirachi Kiss, you become a nutty squirrel. Because you just get thrown in a loony bin. Because your entire team gets crippled and flinched. You just want to kill your opponent.
Yeah, it doesn't have unwinnable matchups because it always has the win condition of, whatever, I'll just flinch 8 times in a row.
Guess what? As an added bonus, you throw on top Libero Cinderace as an added bonus.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Jirachi Kiss is just going to be fun, and by fun I mean fun for one person in this entire draft, and that's the person using it. Aaron. Everyone else is not going to have fun.
Unless they have an inner focus mod, then they might have fun.
What inner focus?
Your Mega Gallade's ready.
Yeah, but that just loses to Cinderace.
It's not important.
Yeah, and Cinderace is just very strong. It's a Pokemon that I could see if it's too good this season being banned again because it was very, it's a Pokemon that a lot of people are very anxious about in terms of tiers. It was very I think it only just managed to get in the sort of tier poll vote that the mod team did. So yeah, it's
pretty silly.
It's a very good mon. But outside of that, it's got some good hazard support, some spin, Toxicroak to absorb toxic spikes. It just it's got a lot of momentum options, I think, or a fair amount of them. It's got a lot of things to support the Jirachi Kiss dream.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of Mega Garchomp, but it's,
Not either.
but it definitely has its uses, especially if, everything's been paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things I like about it, two things the Real Guys team. First of all, he drafted Burrow Ace, and he also drafted Greninja as obviously as a tribute to the glorious, true prodigal son of Protean, and also Scyther. Scyther's going to go in hard this season.
Dual Wing Beat hits a man's hard, and it has
And if you
boots.
especially if you've gone through the power rankings and realized how many teams don't play well with flying types, now you have a 120 base power flying move with no recoil, backed up by Paraflinch and Swords Dance.
Yeah, and it has the boots. It doesn't have to worry about rocks anymore.
There's a very realistic chance that I could see Scyther being the prize top 5 kill leader this year.
Yeah. I do think this team has a small, fire weakness. Because it does have, 5 weaknesses to fire.
And it's Resistar, Granin, Megachomp.
Yeah, and Cinderace sometimes, but also sometimes not.
It's also the Munchlax. That technically is a fire resist.
Yeah, the Munchlax, I think, is their best fire resist.
I mean,
Garchomp as well, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it's got thick, fat, and decent defenses, and Eviolite, and Psych-Off, so maybe it can do things, but, a strong fire-type attack, it does give this team issues.
Can't wait, though, until Munchlax finishes the year with more kills than Cinderace.
Yeah. I mean, people will... It's kind of hard to prep for Cinderace, to be honest, because it just has a very... It just U-turns out for free and gets a billion chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just wears boots and does not care about your rocks.
Yeah, or just,
That's cool, I guess.
Or just has Choice Band and is a real Chad and just breaks through everything.
Yeah. The best way to beat Cinderace is it misses its moves.
Which it does. I swear to God, Pyro has 10 accuracy. But,
Remove it can click except U-turn misses.
Yeah, but yeah, this team really likes the spikes. It really likes the moment. It's a well put together team, very well put together team.
Yes, it is.
I think Tisserina is Tisserina and Spiritomb is a bit of a speed gap, but at that point, who cares? It's that low.
If we're arguing speed gaps between Zarina and Spiritomb, that's your problem with your team, you're in a really good spot.
Exactly. That's me grasping for stuff. Because honestly, this was I could see any of these top 3 being the top 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got number 2. The Eye of Alakazam with Helix. Okay, so this is cool. This team's cool. I really like the double teleport to bring in Megalopoly. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really, really good. Slowbro teleports and you've got a Megalopoly in and it's oh, well, good luck. It's pretty solid defensively, Slowbro and Chansey is a hell of a defensive core, especially if you've got the, they have a few ways to passively getting health, specifically Bulu. Dual teleport is really, really good. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And not even just teleports, you got a lot of momentum too.
Yep.
Moltres U-turn, Ultion for the 2 games is actually not garbage. Okay, that's pretty much, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much sums up.
little iffy speed tier wise, but like, oh well, it does have Trick Room. But then again, I don't think it takes advantage of Trick Room that well. Like, it's got it's got two setters, Cofagrigus, which I don't think is any good anymore because without hidden power, it's
I mean, Mono Ghost is still decent. It's not as good, but it's still decent.
But it's like, you know what it runs instead of hidden power fighting now, right? Body press, nasty plot, body press, Shadow Ball. It's an issue.
Yeah,
it's definitely an issue, and then the rest of the Pokemon are just kind of like mid speed or fast. So yeah. So that's a bit of an issue, but you know, I guess an offensive Slowbro can also take advantage of Trick Room. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think just dropping Cofagrigus, although it does lose, makes you. I think it's got Toxic Spikes, so losing that's a bit of an issue.
it has T-Spikes, and honestly, it's probably one of his better fighting answers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe there's
can be a fighting answer.
What?
It's the one that hits repeatedly all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's fine. Because this is me stretching for stuff here, because I don't know what else to say. I know Moltres defensive Moltres is very good on this team. Slowbro, Chansey, stupid defensive core. It's got stupid support. It's got some.
The only real complaint I would honestly make is that it's kind of heavy on physical attackers.
Yeah.
Slowbro's defensive. Agrigus kind of doesn't really count. Tari is not a Pokemon. I was going to say, Moltres is really its only special attacker, because Jolteon does not count as anything anymore.
I mean, Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, that's some coverage right there.
There's a reason Jolteon's main set right now, I'm pretty sure, is the Wish set. Almost positive that's its main set now.
Yeah, and it's like, if you... Wish Jolteon... But...
Hey, congratulations, you're using the shittiest EV evolution for Wish Passing.
That's, is that true? No, because it's fast. So honestly, it might be better than, like, Leafeon just because... I mean, Leafeon's got... You know, I'm going to say it's better than Leafeon because it's fast. It's faster and it's got Volt Switch. So it doesn't have to bat and pass for its Wish. Yeah, there you go. Although Leafeon can actually has, like, a coverage move that kind of helps in X's or... Regardless...
Yeah. Just the random setup moves I can do.
Regardless, number one. Is it time for the last one? Is it time?
I believe it is.
Okay. Number one, the Miami Manaphes, which, you know, this is a great team. I like this team a lot. Just on a personal note, because I love regen spam, and this has 4 good regen mons. It's got Alola Mola and Mega Aggron, which is really fucking strong. It's got some decent removal. Latios is one of the scariest Pokemon, most consistent Pokemon in the format now, with all of its DLC buffs. I don't think there's such a thing as a bad Latios matchup anymore. Not that there really was one before this, but like...
I'm pretty sure it got top 5 kill leader in every division last year.
It fucked up Adiv, okay? It just completely destroyed Adiv.
I think Adiv was what, like 28 and like 1 or some shit?
Yeah, something stupid like that. It's just so good now. It doesn't get walled by steals anymore. It just...
That's been its problem since it came out. It could never beat steals.
Yeah, but now it's got Aura Sphere
we're gonna give it Aura Sphere and Mystical Fire.
Yeah.
Now what are you gonna do?
Yeah, nothing. It's so good now. It's so consistent. Like, I've been drafting it a lot. That's the first one picked every time, because it doesn't matter. It's just like, whatever.
Soldew is such a good item on it.
Yeah, it's just
so good.
Soldew, like a freaking setup set. You know, freaking sub roost, specs, scarf, whatever, it doesn't matter. It can just bring it. It's got some good momentum. It's just got good type coverage in general for like switch-ins.
And as an added bonus as well, they give Latios Baton Pass, because that's what it needed, was a momentum move.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, I'm a big fan of this team.
Yeah. It's got a lot of my favorite like gimmick mons. I love Persian Alola as like a dirt cheap dark type. It's not the best, but it's really fun to play with, and you can do some weird shenanigans with it. Mega Aggron's my favorite Mega. Mole is my favorite Wish Passer. And yeah, the only real complaint you can say is it's got 2 rockers, but one of those rockers is Mega Aggron, which is basically the closest thing you can get into the format to guaranteed rocks.
Yeah, exactly. And the others go Lurk, which, doesn't want to run it.
A really scary T5.
Yeah, which is a really scary T5 anyway. And can probably get up
Poltergeist is a real thing.
Yeah.
You can't miss Poltergeist like everyone else can.
Yeah. It's got, and it might genuinely, force, let's say, for example, force one of, the Slowbro person to not bring an item on Slowbro. Yeah. Just because otherwise, just because otherwise it sort of beats it.
There's a lot of teams that are weak to go, so a Rock Polish Golurk set, if they don't run a no item Pokemon, might just straight up lose to Rock Polish Poltergeist.
Yeah. This is just a good team. I like it a lot. I don't know what else to say.
We didn't even mention Tornadus T, which is one of the other great mons that got boosted up in the DLCs.
How they got Tornadus T and Latios, I don't know. That's such a good combination. That is such
not only is it a good combination too, but Torn T is one of those mons that even before the DLC, everyone always picked the top 5.
Yeah.
Somehow you managed to get both. I really don't know how you pulled it off. And you got Rotom Heat.
Yeah, it's stupid good. Speaking of Rotom Heat though, there is a gap between it and Mienshao in speed tiers, and then there's a gap between it and Kamala in speed tiers. That's a bit of an issue. Again, not a perfect team, but fucking really good. And if you can sort that out, if you can, sort of build around that, it's fine, and some teams can't even take advantage of it anyway.
The only other complaint really to have is that the fairy type is Gramble. It's kind of the only other real complaint, but when your steel type is Mega Aggron, you don't really need the strongest fairy in the world either.
Yeah, exactly. And, Granbull's definitely, it's a pickable Pokemon. It's a usable Pokemon.
Mola can switch in those Draco Meteors, then to switch out and get all its health back.
Yeah.
Because it's dumb.
You've got a little to wish everything. You've got, Torn T and frickin' Mienshao to just spam U-turn. I don't know, I'm a big fan of, silly regen cores, and this is, the best. Yeah.
The silly regen core with the most ridiculous passer in the game into one of the most annoying walls in the game with the most annoying offensive mon in the game.
This is I think this is
there's a lot to build for here.
Yeah.
And you really can't build for all of it.
Yep. So, so congratulations on Jape Zolnia.
And let's see, has he played his week 1 yet? Because we are recording this, of course, Sunday night.
Yeah, okay.
I think most of
I specifically didn't look at any of the, matches that have been played, because...
I've seen the games, I don't remember who won or lost, though.
Yeah, it's it shouldn't matter, it's power rankings.
No, we had the power rankings decided this morning before we even looked at stuff, but we just didn't get to record it till now because of time zones.
Yeah, well, and also work literally calling me every.
Yeah, because we've had this basically done for 2 days. We never did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't played yet, sadly, or he's not it's not on the sheet.
Okay, whatever. I don't know. This is just a good team, and I think this is the best team. I think we both think this is the best team in D Division, but I
think so, and I think it's mostly because I think it's also a team that we both agree is probably the team we'd like to use the most.
it's fun. It was either this or the Jirachi Kiss if I could have one.
I don't know what else. I might go the Bulu Lop because I'm just a big Bulu fanboy.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, but I think that wraps us up. We've been recording for a while, I think, so I'm gonna have to edit some stuff. Hopefully this will be up pretty soon. And sorry to the D Division coaches for the wait, but you're getting power rankings.
I hope you were happy.
Yeah, or content.
Content, yeah, with our terrible rating.
Yeah.
Please make sure to let us know how bad we did in rating the teams.
And remember, if we rated you low, as I said at the start, it's a personal attack against you. It's because we specifically hate you. And for up to me, you'd all be lost. Because I think you are all lost in my heart. yeah. But with that, I think we can end off. So, see ya.
Yep.